Hello, this is William Robinson with ViralHair.com, and today we're talking to
DC Glenn, aka DC the Brain Supreme, aka Mr. Sprinkles.
and I'm so glad you started with that because not just with the Geico commercial you're in, but it seems like a big wave of nostalgia pop up in all kinds of different media. I mean, are you surprised at this, or did you kind of see it coming once you got involved with this? Or
It's always been like this, but in different genres and different forms, right?
Right.
Whoop happened, it was big, but then the 2000s happened, and we're still doing shows, but we're doing halftime shows. We're doing so many different things all over the world that different pockets of people are experiencing us, right?
Right.
And then then it got kind of slow, but that was the time I took to educate myself.
Right.
Right. And I love to learn. My motto is learn how to learn. It's not good enough just to learn. You have to learn how to learn, right?
Right.
And learning how to learn, you open your mind up to so many different avenues of what can be, because you're not bogged down in the traditional way of thinking that everybody wants you to think.
Right.
Right. So that's how I figure out so many things, and I just have a ball, man. I mean, I love life. I love to learn. I love performing. I love acting. I love voiceover. I love SEO. I love writing Wikipedia pages. I love Wikidata. I love being a nerd. I love all of this, right? Because it's life.
Right.
And you only get one. So you better ride it till the wheels fall off.
Good point. Now, mentioning the new media you're involved with, and growing up from the 80s, do you think that that's been a boon or ask people learning stuff with all new media, or think it can sometimes take a completely different direction depending on who's writing what?
I've never seen it any other way, because 1982, I've got a Commodore. Me and my brother arguing over who gets to use the Commodore.
Right.
Right? I get to college, my boy Johnny Z, his parents get him one of the first Macs. So now all of us are fighting over the Mac because we got a term paper to do, because we used to have to use a typewriter. And now we can use a computer? Come on. And then, so I've never, even like when I was in college, all the people in the office used to love me because I knew how to use computers.
Right.
I had all the software. I knew where to get all the software, right? So
Right.
It's like, I'm messing with all the teachers, and I'm doing well in school. So it has always been a part of my life, right? But music became a bigger part of my life, and that kind of went by the wayside.
Right.
And then it was like, same with music. Like, certain things never stop growing.
Right.
Technology stopped growing. It's always going to grow. So I had made the mistake maybe like 2000 when CDs were switching over to turntables, because I've always been a DJ.
Right.
And I was like, I'll never do CDs. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'll never do CDs. And I was lost, because everybody else had passed me by, and I was still stuck using turntables and vinyl. And I was like, that'll never happen again. And I got up to speed, and with everything. If I always have a situation where I realize I'm not working as hard as I should be, or need to do more than I should have been.
Right.
And that's the point where I say that'll never happen again, because those points in your life are kind of traumatic, because you realize that because of your preparation that those things didn't happen. Right? So, when I had to do SEO, I did SEO, and I try to learn everything I can and plant as many seeds as I can. And that's the Geico commercial is a culmination of me hustling, planting these seeds, making sure that we can be found online, making sure that the world knows about Tag Team, because if you're in somebody's face and they see you, that's an idea they might have about you.
Right.
Right? It's like, but they don't know who you are, never seen you, they never have the idea. So that's why you got to get in front of people.
Right.
That's why I'm here. Right? Because you never know who I can meet. I do voiceover. There might be a voiceover producer looking for new talent that wants to be in some anime thing, and he looks over here and sees Mr. Sprinkles, and it's like, oh my gosh. That's how it happens. So
Right.
You try to put yourself in positions, but you have to be prepared, right? He came over here and said, hey, you got a demo? I'm like, da-da-da-da. What's your email? Boom, send them to him.
Right.
So
That way you keep up with everything that's going on.
you got to keep up with everything. But that comes with, just talked about it, experience.
Right.
Learn what not to do, hone your skills. And they used to tell me I was a jack of all trades, master, and I heard that so much when I was young. But they didn't know what they're talking about, because over time, if you never quit, keep playing offense, learn how to learn, you become masterful at all of those trades.
Right.
And then they all serve you in ways you can never imagine, right? So I'm here hustling. I got 2 computers. I'm about to get to work. If somebody wants an autograph, if somebody wants to take a picture, I'm going to stand up, take a picture, and I'm going to get back to work, because that's what I love to do. I've never, like, my parents used to just work me and my brother like crazy, right? I mean, we used to have to shovel snow, wash cars, everything. Like,
Right.
But I'm so grateful for that, because I've never feared work.
And it gave you the ethic you have now concerning
I
it.
have never, ever feared work in my life, and I love it when it's hard, because I know that nobody else is trying, because it's too hard. And I know eventually all you do is just keep chopping wood. If you keep chopping wood, that tree is eventually going to fall. I don't care if it's a redwood, if it's a twig, if it's an oak, if it's a shrub. Chop long enough, it's going to fall.
Right.
You hit it in the right spot, it's going to fall. Sometimes longer than other times, but it's going to fall. So that's my philosophy.
That's a good one. You mentioned the show earlier. Have you done anything like this before, or is this your first time coming to something like
First
this?
time. We did a podcast. And Greg Kelso was like, man, we want to invite you to come to Conroe. I was like, huh? Right? And I was like, I don't know, man. Let me see if I got a time. Because I know I got one show on a Saturday. Let me see if I got time, and then I'll let you know.
Right.
And I had time. And I said, okay. So I'm always, my mind is open. I just come and sit back in the corner and look.
DC, are there any projects you can talk about coming up?
Shouldn't say this, but about to have our own ice cream. Yes, about to have our own ice cream, and I don't have words for it. I don't even know how that's gonna go, but I'm grateful. It's gonna be fun. Probably already said too much, but I'll just wait till you guys see it. It's gonna be fun. But then I got 3 movies coming out. So I'm an actor. I've got 3 television shows. Like, all these things are dropping at the same time.
Right.
Right. So it's just it's crazy, because like I was telling you earlier, the pandemic's like one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, because it forced me to stop. Right. I've always worked hard, but it forced you to stop. And it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? It's like, skirt. And it was like, I can't do this, I can't do that, can't do shows. But I was like, but I can do voiceover, right? Because I'm at home, I got my studio set up. I can, so I reinvented myself with voiceover. And voiceover has always been hard for me.
Right.
And I started like in 2009. Actually, it's funny because everything is so full circle, because in 1995, I'm in the bowels of Disney. Just in the secret lair of Disney, teaching Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. The voices of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. And now I'm here, Conroe, right? Like, that's the thing that this whole pandemic made me realize, is that there are no mistakes, there are no missed opportunities, because I beat myself up for years, because I was like, you were in with them and you didn't try to get in the voiceover, because they told me all about animation. I told them all about rap. I taught them how to rap. We made a record, a kid's record. That's why nobody knows, because it was a kid's record. But all those kids for 10 years loved that record. That's why when those kids are, for 10 years it was Disney. Then after that it was Go Noodle and Kids Bop.
Yeah.
Right? So all those kids know that, like Jock Jams, right? For kids. Yeah. And now when the Geico commercial hits, you got a parent looking at it, what you know about that? And the kids looking at them like, what do you know about that? Right? Because they both know about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being in there with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. I was enthralled and there it is. So I didn't, hey, okay, cool, I'll do it. But it took 15 years for me to realize that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I started training, and it was difficult. It was so hard, and I was like, And it was me because I thought I just boom, there it is my way through anything, right? You know what I mean? Just my hubris was like that. And I was like, no, you can't. But I didn't quit.
Right.
And it's the one thing that over and over and over again, when the chips are down or when something happens, it's the one thing that always comes through for me. Because it's the natural God-given talent that I had. And I went back and I trained, and I was mad at my coaches back then. I was like, they don't even know how to coach. Right? I'm thinking it's all everybody else except me. And I went back and listened. I had to listen to my 10-year-old self talk all that crap, right? And I realized it was me, you know? And that's one of the things about your emotions. You know it's you, you know, hey, you killed your ego, all that. But then I'm like, it's also inspirational. Because wait a minute, I know what the heck they're talking about now. Because I've been training for 10 years, right? And I said, let me do this first voiceover that's making my skin crawl and the hairs on my arm.
Yeah.
And I did that first voiceover, and it was angelic. And I started booking instantly. And back in March, when everybody thought we were going to turn to zombies and start eating each other, I was listening to 42-hour sessions, getting better at voiceover. Then my Crystal Carson, my coach in LA, because I got coaches all over the country, she was like, I got a movie for you. I'm casting this movie. Can you get to Nebraska? I was like, I got a hazmat suit. So I go to Nebraska. I'm shooting a movie in Nebraska during the pandemic. About the pandemic. It's called My Corona. About the pandemic, first weeks of the pandemic, and they did a documentary on how to shoot a movie in the pandemic. And I did this just to get footage. And now this documentary and movie is making the rounds at all the circuits and the film festivals and winning awards. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I shot my second movie. And then I booked a Tyler Perry House of Pain, and then booking every 2020 is the best year of my life, and then here comes Geico. Like, my agent calls me like, DC, you booked a Geico commercial. I was like, don't play with me. I didn't even audition for a Geico commercial. I'm an actor, right? I'm like, don't play with me like that. I'm talking about, like, DC, they say you want a tag team. I was like, oh. And because I didn't quit, because I learned SEO and I knew we needed a web presence and I did what had to be done to be found.
You found a way in.
I found a way in, and they found me. And then when they couldn't find me because they called my phone, they went to my IMDb, found my agent. I let my agent make the deal. It's the biggest deal I ever made in my life. I was about to go to Geico headquarters. We about to be with the Lizard. And, you know, it's the professionalism, right? I work hard. I just go. I play offense. For me, it's no quid pro quo. It's like, I don't do this to get something. I just do it. Right. And whatever happens, happens, right? Like, for the longest I was doing, I still throw it out there. Like what I just told you with Star Wars, like Dave Leone, John Favreau, if you're listening, you're missing one. You can come holler at me. But you never know how it works. Somebody could be like, you know that guy that does sprinkles? He wants to be in the Mandalorian. My kids love that thing. That's how it happens, right?
Right.
You're just creating your own luck. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. And it's funny because everything is always 360, man, because pandemic, we couldn't do shows. So it's like, I'm not happy I got a Geico commercial because I can't do shows. I got to make something happen because of this. So that's when I had to meet with my agents. We talked about what I wanted. I said, I need publicists. We got to find a publicist so we can blow this thing up because we can't do shows. So I got to make hay somehow. And publicists were like, well, we're in a pandemic. We don't know what to do. We usually do a junket. I was like, okay, thank you. But whenever I get stuck, I join an organization, society, or an association. Because they're filled with people who've been doing a certain profession 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And they love to tell you how they did it. And they have all the resources. Right. And they have all the financial help. And they have all the things that you need to do the thing that's their profession. So I said, I'm going to be my own damn publicist. And I joined the Public Relations Society of America, PRSA. And 2 days in, I'm on a Zoom call. They're like, well, our press release is real. It's like, that's a good question. It's like, yes, because the whole last year's been COVID. It's been doom and gloom. It's been political. Everybody's fighting. Everybody's lying. Everybody, whatever, right? And here you guys come throwing sprinkles and spinning scoops and dancing in DC or smile. I'm just like, of course the press release is going to work. We're going to go here for all the publicists, here for all the TV talk shows, here for all the journalists, here for all this. Make sure your pitches are like this. And I hit the ground running, and I have not looked back, and it's opened the world to me that I never knew. And it is the reason I'm here at Conroe. And it's the reason I'm sitting here talking to you. Right?
Right.
Because I didn't quit, I didn't give up, I found a way, and I thought differently, and I made it happen. And I didn't expect anything. So now I do 3-4 podcasts a day. I'm an expert podcast guest.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, DC. Really appreciate it.